Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday night. I'm TU Nap, and I'm thrilled to pieces to be here. I'd like to welcome all of you. We do this podcast for about 30 minutes, and I am honored and blessed to have Dr. Michael Gross here with me. I'm going to give him a minute to say hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Michael. I can't wait to get into your topic, aligning with the stranger things in the universe. I can hardly stand the suspense. But before I go into that, for all of you who are new, Dr. Michael Gross has been in the world, the metaphysical world of, learning about your soul, your oversoul, spirituality. He's a Reiki master. He's a thought field therapist. He has
Yeah.
many, many, many skills that he's been working with for over 40 years, right, Michael?
Yes.
And he gives us his time to share with us his words of wisdom. So, on that note, I'm going to just go ahead and put his contact information in the comments. You'll be seeing my head go up and down a little bit, but he, while I do that, but he channels the information. So, if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. And what we'll do is when Michael gets done with his information, then we'll also address your comments. Alrighty? So here you go, Michael. It's all yours, and I'm going to mute myself out.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. The wonderful subject about the stranger things in the universe. And we tend to look at everything as black and white, and we don't use any analytical and logical thinking, which I call analogical thinking. And then again, we tend to reflect upon the past. But what I desire all of you to know is that there's a great shift of energy coming. And I was never a big fan of astrology. A lot of things were said. I had a very dear friend to birth out, and she was just wonderful. And she would tell me my astrology for the birthday and all these wonderful things. And her name was Rebecca. And she was just incredible. And I've often pondered why we choose our astrological sign when we incarnate. And the answers I got and received was that you display those traits of whatever the astrological sign is because you came in with certain agreements. And those agreements are things from your past life, things that went on in the past that you need to understand or complete or rectify. For example, in the past life, if you were very stingy, tight with your money, and you took advantage of people financially, you would come back and say, okay, I have to learn the lesson of what I did. It wasn't the right thing. And what happens is it happens to you. Once you understand these things happen, it's over and done with because it's like learning a lesson. So I view it as if something goes kittywampus, well, I learned something new. And I don't like to feel as a victim because everything you learn is powerful. And it's like, I'll go back to the old cliche I use. My mother would say, don't touch the hot pot. I said, what's hot? I burned my finger. Ah, I learned a new lesson. So in the future, I try not to burn my finger, but it happens occasionally. However, with that being said, when I talk about strangers, there's a new vibration and energy coming onto this planet. And it's been here for some time, but it's getting more intense. And it's really, how do I live in the energy on this planet? How do I cope with what's going on in the news? How do I cope with what they're saying this situation or that situation is going on, or recent things that have been happening around the world, and how some of the despots are now being removed? And this is a time with a shift of energy astrologically. And the Asian astrology talks about fire horse. Essentially, it means the astrology that we have 8 years, it was 9 last year, to make a transformation. And really, what's the transformation? To give up old beliefs, to clear out old beliefs, to understand what we've learned. And now, like a beautiful artist, a painter, you've got a blank canvas and you can redesign and create the life you so desire. However, there are many forces out there that will say this is baloney, it's not true, so on and so forth. But if we watch what's happening, we see a lot of things that are being exposed. We saw a lot of money in Congress has been appropriating to different countries for ridiculous things. We see a lot of things happening in Minnesota, so on and so forth, how money's being used in a way to enrich certain souls, but take advantage of everyone else. Then we see the press telling their sides of the story. It's like a little excerpt, one line, but not the whole line. And then we are being brainwashed to think a different way. These are the things that are occurring one side of the coin, so to speak, one side of your life. However, then there's the other side. And I often talk about critical thinking. Does this really make sense? Is this really true? And then, of course, there's one side that's trying to make us live in fear. The bottom line is that you are in control of your life. But we have a mass effect. That mass effect is how we feel about our lives. And last week, I talked about how we manifest. Well, remember, every thought is manifestation. You're creating all those things. So if you're living in fear and in doubt and in anxiety, what happens? You're going to attract into your life. But on the other hand, we know we can't stick our head in the sand. But what's most important, what we can do, is change our lives. And change our lives one person at a time. And then you have the snowball effect. And that's so very, very important. I remember talking to a friend of mine, a client and a friend, and she came from Germany, went through Hitler, went through everything. And she has an entirely different view of life. And she's turning 90 this year. And we talked about so many things. And there was the Berlin Wall. And there was a pastor who would call people over and they'd say a prayer. And there were like 10 people, 20 people, 50 people. Then it became in the thousands. And maybe 5 or 10 years later, not sure, the Berlin Wall came down. Well, really, what did it do? How come did it come down? It was our thoughts and our emotions creating peace, equality, and love. And not what we determine as peace, quality, and love, because you see, we have tunnel vision. But what I'm trying to explain to all of you is for all of us to manifest in your meditation peace, unconditional love, and allowingness, and not direct how it's supposed to be. Whether one person becomes the leader of it, 100 people, 50 people, 20 people. I tend not to fall into groups that are spiritual. They do great work, but there's always someone has to say my way or the highway, and they try to control it. And that's a natural thing we humans do. However, if you will join a group where you turn around and say, I desire a group that is open-minded, that wants to make a change on this planet, to bring about unconditional love and allowingness, non-judgmentalness, that strange energy is out there. It's open for us to achieve it. So if we look at Krishna, he tried to establish it. Buddha, Jesus, and many other avatars, John the Baptist and others, they brought forth that energy. And that energy means love. Well, what is really love? And it's hard to explain what love is. The only way I can explain it is it's an emotion. It's a feeling. And what do? We sit there and listen to the news, and there's the old story. Tell a lie long enough, you'll believe it. And you're getting brainwashed. And if we look back and brainwashed, who were the experts in brainwashing? The Chinese. They were excellent at it in brainwashing. We talk about the Korean War and what they did. So what does brainwashing tell you? That you're vulnerable, that you don't have your own thoughts, you're not strong enough. And many of us are silent. We don't want to speak up because we're judged. And if you don't agree with a group of people, they label you as something. But there's this major shift that's going on in the planet, of the energy of the planet. And it's for you to speak your truth, not your ego, but your truth. And to look at both sides of what's happening. And more importantly, how do I find harmony, balance, and ease in my life? I talk to so many people. I can't sleep, I'm awake, we're going to have a war, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. What is your purpose here? That's what I'd like all of you to focus on, this energy. Well, some of you may not think this is strange, but for many of you, it is strange. Because of religiosity and others' opinions, we fall prey to what is occurring. So we had the great avatars, which I mentioned, who talked about unconditional love, allowingness, and non-judgmentalness. And there was a quote from Jesus when he was doing a healing. And one of the quotes, and maybe I'm misquoting it, by your beliefs, so shall you be healed. What does that tell us? What do you really believe in? And because you have free will and free choice, you can believe in chaos and fear and doubt, which you will perpetuate it because you're going to draw that energy. Remember, all energy is neutral. And what you do is you manipulate the energy by your thoughts, by your emotions, by your feelings, and it comes into your life. So, see, told you it's right. You know, the old story I say, somebody said, no, I can't go skiing because I'm going to break my leg or ankle. 5 years they go, see, I told you so. I broke my leg or ankle. Did that person want to really break their leg and ankle? No. But when they kept saying it, they began to believe it. They told themselves a lie or story, and they created something. So I thought I'd share something with you. Some of you may or may not know that I'm a non-denominational minister. And I was doing a lot of weddings. I mean, a lot. In the thousands over 10 years. No exaggeration. By the way, those who say I'm full of malarkey, you have to keep a wedding certificate every one you have so you can count each one of them and you'll see what it is. That's being set aside. I was standing on a stage and I was backing up and I was about 3.5, 4 feet high. And I backed up and felt myself falling backwards. And I said, true source soul, let me land softly. I landed on my tush. I was thinner then, so I didn't bounce 4 times. And I got up and walked around. They all applauded. Not one pain, not one ache. Pretty amazing. Because my belief system is I'm not going to be injured or hurt. And it did not occur. Key word is my belief. Your belief system is creating all kinds of things in your life. And when I talk about all kinds of things in your life, this energy appears to be strange to some people. And it's strange to hear, no, God tells me how my life is going to be. Well, Jesus said God is unconditionally loving, allowing, and non-judgmental, and many others. Why would a loving God, which Jesus taught, this energy called God, want to punish you and hurt you? We are experts alone for creating chaos. We don't need any help. We're great at doing it ourselves. But we have to also realize that we are the soul, SOLE / SOUL, creator of our lives. That's what you are. And once you realize, oh, there's all this chaos, a potential for war going on. This president saying this person saying this is a liar, this is it. And I'm going to find belief system that supports my belief system. So if you think Jane Doe or John Doe is evil, you will tune in and find out all the things that people are saying that John Doe and Jane Doe is evil. And then if you say, no, they're doing wonderful things, you will find all kinds of information they do wonderful things. So it's like, well, what is the truth? The truth lies within your heart, within your soul. That's what the truth lies in. Well, how do I find out? First of all, you have to pay attention to your reaction. Are you feeling anger or disgust? That means you're tuning into some negativity. Are you feeling love and joy and happiness? It says you're tuning into positivity. We do not rejoice in a person being hurt or put down or killed. We do not rejoice in that. What we rejoice in is our connection to the true source, that we are unlimited. You know, my motto, you're unlimited, and that we have the ability to create anything we so desire. There's a small group that has been with me, some of them 30 years, teaching and doing wonderful, powerful work. So I thought I'd share a couple of things. When Kim Il Jong, if I'm pronouncing his name right or whatever, he was shooting missiles over towards Taiwan, we went in and asked true source unconditional love for right action and correct exchange, for the mass consciousness to do specific thing, bring about love. However it plays out, that's not my concern. What happened is, even though he's a despot, he stopped doing that. Then we went into Israel, where there were killings many years ago. That stopped, same process. Then we went into the Arab countries, where women were 24th class. They weren't allowed any education. They could be divorced easily. You weren't allowed to go to school, drive a car. So what we brought through is women being able to drive cars, be educated, and don't have to be escorted. That changed in many of the Arab countries. Then we went into India, where women were being raped and child brides. And we did the same thing, just a small group. And what happened was now they're prosecuting people who are raping women and no more child brides. And you know what's horrible? What I learned? I learned that sometimes when the women from India and their husband died, let's say they were 40 or 45 years old, and their husband died, the family didn't pay attention to their mother, cast them out, and let them starve. And there was a collection point, a place where all these women who were treated horribly by their families, that they were fed and looked after, and even that's beginning to change because we did something about it. So let's talk about a microcosm. You have the power, and I repeat, the power to change your life of anything you so desire. If you truly believe in the power and the ability, which sounds strange, who am I can't do this. You were created out of love, by love, and from love. Look at all you persevered in your life, all the judgments, the storms, the sickness, the illness, the anger, the frustration, being judged, put down, bullied, all this, and the struggles you went through. Look how powerful you are. You went through these struggles and all these judgments. And now you look at your age, whatever age. Are you 10? Are you 90? Are you 80 or 70? Did you ever bother to think all the beautiful things that happened in your life? I tell everyone, this is a great time of change, time of karma, letting go of the old. And karma in this case means I learned something, now I'm not going to repeat it. That's simple. And then I tell everyone when we birth out, we have what we call a life review. And that everybody you brought pain to, you feel the emotion. Everyone you brought joy, you feel the emotion. Is it a punishment? No, because there's no such thing as hell. Great, those who created to control and manipulate you. But stop for a moment. Stop and think about this. Do you really think you did 95% things wrong and 5% things good right? How about reversing it? You did 95% things beautiful, right, and positive, maybe even as high as 98%, and 1 or 2% negative. Have you ever gone to someone and say, you look great, I'm so happy to see you? Do you know the power in that thought? Many times I'd walk into a store, and there was a day I was in marketing and sales, and the days we wore silk ties, and I'd go into the department store. It's called Filene's in Boston. It's something like Saks Fifth Avenue or Nordstrom's. And I got to know them, and I said, listen, I want to look at ties. I got this new gray suit. They knew me, and I see them. They were a little tired and looking down. I said, boy, without your help, I wouldn't be able to do it. You're phenomenal. You look great. Really? And I changed their whole day. Do you know the power of that? You think it's insignificant. It changed her whole day. But here's what's so important. When she was down or he was down, feeling unimportant, feeling grumpy, feeling sad, they were manifesting that for the rest of the day, or maybe for hours or weeks or days. But I changed that with one simple statement or two simple statements. You do that in your life. He said, boy, you really look great. Really? Thank you. Oh, I see you've taken off weight. You look phenomenal. Or thank you for taking me, to dinner, or taking me for a ride, or thanks for meeting me. And they smile. Those little things that you think are strange and insignificant, there's the size of this planet because it changed someone. And that is what's so powerful. I remember I was with a group of people, and one of the women there, I hadn't seen her. I said, oh, it's nice to see you. You look great. What do you mean? What do you mean I look great? And my friend turned around and said, he's complimenting you. He's not hitting on you, for Pete's sakes. Wake up. So, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. She was in moods that she thought men would hit on her or say something, and she wanted to start a war. See the mood? But I changed that by complimenting her. And thank goodness my friend pointed that out. And that changed that whole party we were at. And she was much more happy. When she's happy, other people get happy because it's contagious. Your energy is contagious. And that's what you need to understand. I'm checking the clock. Contagious means you are responsible for your life in bringing in love, joy, happiness, depression, anxiety, and hate. It's all up to you. But do not let someone else do that. Use critical thinking. Am I really this type of person? Or am I this type of person that depends upon the judgment of others to feel good? Because I have low self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. You are going to track and always attract similar type of souls that are like you. Well, why would I want to attract somebody that's angry or upset? Because it becomes a reflection. And you go, that's not me. I don't want to become that. How do I change it? With one simple thought. And that is, I was created out of love, by love, from love, and with love. I am love. Just repeat it 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 times, and you'll be amazed at what occurs in your life. I want to share one other thought. And that is, each morning when you wake up, think of 3 things that bring joy. But don't try to think of 3 all at once. Just one at a time. And then set your phone for 1 minute or more, for 1 minute. And think of this. Wow, I remember when I got my driver's license. I was emancipated. I don't have to ride my bike. Oh, great. Then the next thing is, oh, I'd love to have a car. And I got my first car, used car. Yes, it was great. I love it. And when I got my doctorates or masters, oh, that's really great. Or something I got on my birthday when I got my first bicycle or a wagon or whatever. You will be amazed at what you're going to come up with and remember. How do I know? Because that's the feedback I get. Well, what have you done? You set your day up for joy and happiness. So what you think you create, and what you create you experience. There'll be more about this in the days to come, but I want to thank all of you for being there. So a couple of things I'd like to accomplish at this point, and what I desire to accomplish with all of you, is right now, every Tuesday from 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 7:30 p.m. I have what I call Soul Awakening. It's a forum where we get together. You ask any question you have, even if you've forgotten it, and hopefully I can answer the question. Then afterwards, I deliver a 10-minute message. It's a motivational message. Never know what it's going to be until the last minute, which can be a little nerve-wracking, but it always works out fine. And there are 423 or 24 approximately messages. So first of all, I want to invite all of you to join us from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time every Tuesday evening. It's on freeconferencecall.com. So you can be in your pajamas or whatever. We'll never know. So you give them that information, how they can join us.
Absolutely, Michael. That number is 202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125-446 pound. One more time, please.
202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446 pound. Using the same telephone number, the same code, the second Saturday of every month from 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01 Pacific time, called the Mass Consciousness of Healing. And what we do, we gather together, we become a conduit for the true source's unconditional love. And just like a lotus flower opening its leaves, we wrap the whole Mother Earth, all its inhabitants, the animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdom, with unconditional love. It's an experience that will blow your mind. There's not been one person over the years I've done it that has not felt something incredible. Tia, tell them how they can join us, would you please?
Absolutely. You dial into the very same number that you do on Tuesday night. And that number is 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446 pound. Please join us, because you are the solution and you are here to make a difference. I don't care what your religious persuasion is or whatever, but you are all part of the true source. So help us make a change, especially in the days to come. Also wanted to talk about, I said there was a 10-minute message, and there were over 400. And how do you access them? Well, when I started doing them for 10 minutes, and I'd say about 99% of 10 minutes, a couple a little longer. And I said one day to the true source, I blew it. I forgot to index them. True source, no, you didn't make a mistake. You want to read for 422, 23 indexes? No, I don't have patience. Tell everyone. Ask what number they should listen to. It starts at number 3. Maybe it's 107. Maybe it's 243. Maybe it's 93. Whatever it is. Feedback I get, just what I needed to hear. Here's the beautiful thing. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're angry, you're upset, stuck in traffic. Just play it. Play it on your phone. It's not going to hypnotize you. What it is, it's going to motivate you and give you a new perspective. So I encourage all of you, take advantage of it. Do you tell them how to do that?
The recording number is 434-300-4170. And the access code, Michael?
125-446 pound. One more time, please.
Sure. It's 434-300-4170. And the code, Michael?
125-446 pound. I encourage you all to do this. Also, I offer a complimentary session, 20 minutes or half an hour. Sometimes it's a little longer, and take advantage of it. And here's something I'd like to tell you to do. And that is, they call me old school. Please, please call me. After you call me, maybe I can't take the call. Try to send you a message. I'll get back to you. Then leave a message. Leave a message. Text me a message. Leave me a message so that I can see what area code you're calling from, if you'd be so kind to tell me. And then I see your telephone number, and we work something out so I can contact you. And I try to get to you within 24 hours. Sometimes it's a little longer. Here is something that's really important that you need to understand when you do that. I had souls who know me, and they text me. Sometimes I don't get to it to 2 days. Now they know me. Please try to remember, old school, call me, whatever you want. But remember, I'm providing a complimentary service for you to help you. So bear that in mind, because I love doing this work. So please do this. Also, I'd like to talk to all of you that when you are doing your meditation, ask for healing of Mother Earth. Ask for love, not your love, the true source's unconditional love, for healing Mother Earth. Because it's immaterial what they've done. What's material is they do a 180-degree turnaround from negativity to positivity. That's what we need now, not judgmentalness. Tia, do we have, there was something else, and that is that You can see the podcast that TU and I do, going to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube. And remember, I'm not the urologist, so please do that. And you can listen to many of the podcasts TU and I have been doing over the next several years. And there are some words of wisdom, limited words of wisdom, but I say limited because there's a beautiful photograph taken by an award-winning photographer, TU, and some words of wisdom you'll hear audibly. All right, now I got all that out of the way. Tio, any questions or comments?
You have beautiful comments here, Michael, and I'm going to actually go backwards up this list because we have some wonderful people that have joined you. Darshan's here, Mary's here, Patrick is here, and there's more. I know that Cindy's here. Mary wanted to share. Patrick says great information. Mary says she loves the meditation that you do the second Saturday every month. That's one of her favorite things.
Thank you.
She says that it would be cool if we were all on at the same time for the next one coming up this month. Darshan also agrees with Mary when she said 3 things that bring joy is a beautiful idea. And she's going to start doing that. She says, thank you, Michael, and to you. Your messages are always great and inspiring. Darshan agrees with Mary. And like I said, I'm going up there. So let me go back up to the top here because you've got some other beautiful comments up here as well. Okay, we've got Darshan shares that his sun sign is Taurus, and he says, I have a Leo moon and a rising sun in Sagittarius, which is interesting. If you'd like to comment on our signs. Cindy Lee also says that she's here. She's happy to join us. She's going to help me a little bit more with some of the podcast technical parts. So everybody has been saying wonderful things. You have hearts. You have a lot of thumbs up. And you have wonderful, wonderful feedback, Michael. This has really been a beautiful podcast that we're doing tonight. Well, if you'd like to make any comments, I'm going to just mute myself for a minute and give you that chance.
Well, thank you, everyone, for your kind words. You know, we choose our astrological signs for certain reasons. And rather than enumerate all of them, I have let's say a light understanding, not a thorough one, but a light understanding based upon my dear friend who birthed out of her body, who is an astrologer. And we were close friends for about 10 years. And we used to talk every day. And sometimes with her husband, we'd spend 10 or 15 minutes. And she would taught me a lot about astrology. And my suggestion is look up your astrology and look at those as experiences to empower you. And you'll have a better idea of how you live your life, whether you're stubborn, hard-headed, or what you came here to learn, and what your gifts and abilities are. I certainly look at mine, and she told me about mine, and she read actually my stars, and she said to me that you hate change. Guess what? I moved 10 or 12 times in my lifetime, so and I've had many career opportunities and many things I did in my career, a whole laundry list. So I came in resistant to change, and what I did do, I had to do all these changes. Now I'm no longer reluctant to change. I go, okay, something new that's going to empower me, and I'm gaining new knowledge. And it always goes smoothly. Before that, I used to fight it. But that's so important for us to realize. And I'd like to share this thought with all of you. Like when I was growing up, my mother said, Michael, you can do anything. You know, I've talked about this. And every time something would come up, you know, I can do this. I didn't know anything about it, but I learned very quickly, which ended up in the jungles of South America. All right. And I've been in foreign countries and all kinds of places, dealt with people that you don't even want to know about. However, they were doing things that were positive, but it was very secretive. So all these things occurred because my mother said, you can do anything. But even my son is now telling his children that. But here's what I'd like you to change your addendum to. And that is tell all your friends, you know what? You're unlimited. You can achieve this. Tell your children whatever. Because unlimited means You can do anything. And when you think about you're unlimited, do I want chaos? Do I want love? Do I want health? Or do I want sadness? What do I desire? And once you teach a person that, and it becomes ingrained in their belief system, you become unlimited. The words no longer are words. They are the gift of creation to you. So I thought I would share that with you.
Michael,
Yes.
this is a perfect time for me to also share another comment that I missed. Because Cindy Lee says, affirm what you want and affirm what you desire and give thanks for it. She said, can't is not in the vocabulary.
Perfect. That
And
is perfect.
Darshan also wrote, what we fully believe we do receive. So I just thought those are comments. I apparently missed them for a reason because they fit right here, right now.
Excuse me. Absolutely. I'm glad you have. This is really, really wonderful. So I'd like to talk to you about something else. And what I desire to talk to you about, a pet project for Tio and I. And this is a beautiful, wonderful motivational book called You Are Unlimited. Those who have my book said, looks similar. You're right, it does. And there's a reason why. So TICE is a nonprofit 501c3, and it is a nonprofit. And it's a long story, but it's going to have 12 arms. I'm not going to go into it, but the true source said set up a nonprofit, and it's going to have 12 different arms. You're going to do things. Okay. And it was a miracle how everything was put together to become a nonprofit. Even You Are Unlimited, which is registered trademark with the U.S. government, everything. And someone tried to use that. The true source just worked miracles. This book is wonderful photography by Tio Knapp and words of wisdom to empower you. In the International Institute of Self-Empowerment called TICE. And during the time when I was coaching and mentoring Tio, she wrote a book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul, and she was abused, etc. You can read the book. However, I asked her to be the director of abuse for abused women, children, and also men. Being the nonprofit we are, this book retails for $39.95. And all the proceeds go directly to the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. Our goal is to find women who need to become entrepreneurs so they can become financially independent, but also have the ability to take care of their children. So hopefully later this year, as we get enough money, or maybe next year, maybe tomorrow morning, we'll be able to choose one or more souls and mentor them how to do this. Now, the way it works for me in my life, things happen for a reason, even though I may not know the reason. And I began to mentor women who are in the 6 figures, close to 7 figures, very successful. And I said to them, I have a nonprofit, and we want to mentor women to become entrepreneurs. Would you volunteer to do so? And they all said yes. So I have many souls lined up. Please think about this, and if it feels right, $39.95. The reason that is that price, because color photography is very expensive to do. And $39.95 includes shipping and handling and all tax. So you're not going to get any extra charges. We want to encourage you to get a copy of this. And each morning when you wake up, look at the motivational thought. I'm looking at one now, and it says, what you fear owns you. Isn't that the truth? What you fear owns you. What you love releases you. Powerful, powerful words, because you realize that you are the sole creator of your life. And there's another one: what you see in others, you see in yourself. What you hate in others, you hate in yourself. What you love in others, you love in yourself. What you feel anxious about in yourself, you feel, when you see anxiousness in someone else, it relates to you. So these are beautiful words. I encourage you. Tia will tell you how to get a hold of them. We can use credit cards, we can use Zelle, we can use Cash App, we can, let's see, what's the other one besides Zelle?
Venmo. We have many different ways where you can. I'm going to jump in here, Michael. This is one of the. We have 100 pictures and 100 quotes tucked
Lift it
inside
up a little higher to you.
Well, wait, here we go.
Yes.
What I wanted to share with you is in this quote, it says, without life, there is no love, and without love, there is no life. And this is such a profound message if you think about it. And there, like I said, there are over 100, or there are exactly 100 pictures and 100 quotes. And just like when, what Michael said, flip it open, leave it somewhere where you can see it every day, and just take a look at one quote that can move you through into a more positive and loving day. That because we have so much chaos, especially now in our world, we really truly have so much chaos in our lives. So many people that I know are dealing with cancer. So many people have health challenges, and I can go on and on and on about the challenges, but this book can bring peace and harmony to each and every one of us. And when we share our love with other people, we can definitely make a difference in this world. So I want to thank you, Michael, for giving me an opportunity to be with you on this journey. I am blown away by the things that have changed since I met you 6 years ago. And I look forward to the next 40, 50, 100 years with you, Michael. I know that we can make a difference. And when we support one another, all of us are family. All of us have love inside us. So share it. It's, you don't want to be a hoarder and save it all for yourself, right?
Right. So your life begins when you realize you can create anything. That's my motto. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So thank you, everyone, for joining us, and spread the word. And I wish all of you lots of happiness and joy. And don't buy into chaos or fear or doubt, because remember, you are unlimited. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste.
Love
Love
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.